It helps with the cell structure because it contributes to what's called the phospholipid bilayer. So it's the little layer around the cells. And it helps energy be utilized in cells through ATP. So it can be elevated due to kidney disease, increased dietary intake, hemolysis. So if there's traumatic destruction of the red blood cells after or during blood draw, increased consumption of vitamin D or vitamin D toxicity, what are called phosphate-containing enemas, which we generally don't use, urinary tract obstructions, so low parathyroid, Addison's, a ruptured urinary bladder, bone destruction, thromboembolism, so a clot, xylitol toxicity, which is primarily we see it in chewing gum, and then lastly, snake bites. Anytime someone says snake bite in my head, I just hear like... So causes for decreases of phosphorus, so hypophosphatemia. So it's primarily through two ways. Either you don't absorb it through the gut or you pee it out through the kidneys. So if you're not absorbing it through the gut, it's usually from vomiting, diarrhea, phosphorus deficient diets, vitamin D deficiency, or intestinal disease that affects absorption. And if you pee it out too much, it can be from diabetes, DKA, it can be from hyperparathyroidism, chronic kidney disease, Cushing's, as well as eclampsia if you're on significant diuretics, cancer, and then there's something called refeeding syndrome. So basically, like you've had prolonged starvation and then you feed them too quickly, you can actually cause the phosphorus to plummet. And then if the phosphorus plummets too fast, you can actually then cause all the red blood cells to kind of break open and they get anemia, and it's a very big thing. So weirdly enough, if you have an animal that's had prolonged starvation, you actually have to slowly reintroduce food because otherwise you could cause really, really significant problems. So to summarize, kidneys, creatinine, BUN, SDMA. Those are our primary. Other things, potassium, sodium, phosphorus, calcium, albumin. Liver, the ALKP or ALP, ALT, and then the GGT and T-Billy tell us, or bilirubin tell us about bile and gallbladder health, as well as bile flow through the kidneys. And then the secondary tests are the AST, the BUN, the albumin, the cholesterol, and the glucose. And the gut, glucose, albumin, globulins, cholesterol, amylase, lipase. Pancreas, primarily glucose, amylase, and lipase. And then lastly, muscles, your AST and your CK. I hope that helps kind of shed light on how complicated the chemistries are. They are just as complicated as the CBC. And I hope that that was not too boring for you. It wasn't just like 30 minutes of Bueller. And then I hope you learned something. And if you have additional questions, just let me know. And in 2 weeks, we are going to talk about the thyroid and the urinalysis or urine testing. I think that about wraps it up. As always, thank you for listening to this installment of Vetsplaining. I hope you enjoyed your time with me and ideally learned at least one new thing for the day. If you have any questions or suggestions for future topics, feel free to leave a comment below or email info@independenthillvet.com and put podcast topic or podcast comment in the subject line. Until next time.